Okay, so here's this rust converter. Rust Converter Ultra, like I say, got it on Amazon. Now, I'm not working for Amazon in any way, they're not giving me anything for saying that. I just think it's a good product. So it's you see here, it's milky. You don't need much, you know, it goes a long way, so I'm only going to put that much in there. And then I'm just going to go around here. I think actually I'm going to start at where the bucket is first. And just get that started again. There's not much of a smell to it. I just protect my eyes and my hands when I'm using it. And you don't even need a respirator with this stuff. It doesn't stink, so yeah. Like I say, it's quite liquid. It goes a little long way. So, and I guess you know, it's a mild acid of some sort that etches the surface, and then it sort of, like I say, you've seen that on the tank there. It sort of blackens over and preps it for paint. Actually, you know, since I've used this, I've had this gallon since last year sometime, and I've gone under my truck with it, and I've done the frame. I've done parts of the frame with it, and I've gotten under a car with it and put it on, you know, any spot you see this rusty on under the floor, and it's just amazing how far this goes. You know, I've only got, you know, a little bit in the can here, and you'll see it just goes and goes. It's way thinner than any paint. It's more like you know, it's water almost, you know, the way it goes on there. Yeah, I think it's a good product. I mean, you know, like I told you the price there a minute ago, $80 or something. $80 Canadian, so it's about 60 something bucks American probably. But you know, that's still a real good price for what it does. Yeah. There was a time that the Canadian dollar was worth more than the American dollar a few years ago. It only lasted a little while. We get used to that. We look at a price, you know, we look at, you know, if we look on eBay or something, you know, I mean, you can get it show in Canadian dollars too, but look on eBay and you see something and you think, $40, wow, that's pretty good. And then you realize, oh shit, that's in American dollars. That's going to cost me $60, you know, or whatever the exchange rate is. I think it's with this COVID-19 thing on the go right now, I think everything's gone in the toilet. So there's, you know, our dollar compared to the American dollar now is only, what is it, 70 cents on the dollar. So yeah, hey, but it's a real bargain for you guys to come up here on vacation. Yeah, I'm gonna get some down in here. Yeah, and they say that you can, you know, once this is created a coating, you paint right over this. This acts as the primer. That seals it in. Well, you know, anything that rusts is simply oxygen, you know, reacting with the steel. You know, it's oxidation. All you got to do is protect the steel from the oxygen, and you've stopped the rust. So I mean, if you coat it in oil, it stops the rust. If you keep it painted, it stops the rust. So just keep it coated with something. Yeah, this is working. Yeah, the sun came out and it decided to shine on my project here, so that's good. Yeah, that stuff goes on. You see, goes on real easy. And like I say, a little goes a long, long way. So, and like I say, Amazon's not paying me to say that either. So maybe they should, if they see this, you know. Get them to send lots of money my way. That's good stuff. Okay. Yeah. Down. Some in here. I thought I'd swept that all off. Yeah, it's a little there. It's okay. I'm gonna look for the right color paint for this thing. There's, you know, I'm not going to spray paint it. I got a little thing that I could spray paint it with, but I'm going to look for a gallon of the right color, and I'll brush paint it. Not just the bucket, the whole frame, the tractor. I'm just looking at this as like a rust paint, a trem clad they call it. It's just not the right color on this thing. You need that deeper orange, right? Orangey yellow, I guess. Not quite. It's not. It's its own color. I guess Case has got its own sort of color. It's not Caterpillar. A different color for Caterpillar too. But I'll look around. You know, like I say, I'm not in a great rush, but that's not the most important thing. But if I'm gonna get it going and stuff, I want it to look right. Anyway, so yeah, I just put a little bit in the bottom of that can, and I did all this so far, so I am going to need a little more. So anyway, that's how that works. And there it is, completely coated in rust converter. It took about 10 minutes, you know. Not hard to do. Yeah. That's a hell of a lot better than it just sitting there rusting away. I got the inside too. A good heavy coat of that on there too. And yeah, in a few days, you know, you could paint that again. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that good on there? That's going to help save it. I always like things cleaned up, you know. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to work any better, but you ever notice that when you clean out your vehicle, you know, you vacuum it all or you wipe it all out and wash the windows, it seems like it's quieter and it runs better somehow. I'm not too worried about getting it on these hoses. These hoses are going to have to be changed. Probably won't hurt them anyway, but it's not a concern. A little surface rust, you know, usually doesn't hurt anything, but you know, when I saw over there on that side frame, a little surface rust turned into almost perforating the hydraulic tank, which that's where the tank is on this. It's inside that that frame. I'll show you in a second here. And the pits were really deep on it, and I thought, wow, I mean, you know, it's not going to make a big difference on this knuckle here, you know, so much, but on something that's only, I don't know if it's 1/4 inch plate on there, it's probably not even that thick. But it was well on the way going through there. Here, I'll show you. Sorry for the jiggles of this camera. But yeah, right up in here. See that? The pitting and stuff here on this. This is the hydraulic reservoir on this side and on that side. On this model of tractor, some of them have just the hydraulic reservoir in this frame. If it doesn't have, if it doesn't have a bucket, or if it doesn't have the backhoe, I'm not sure which one it is, but some of them only have a reservoir on this side. This one's got it on both sides, and they're married together, front and back there. But yeah, this is, you know, it would have started the same. It would have been just some surface rust, and it just, you know, let go all those years, and it really got a bite on it, you know. And luckily, I don't think it's gone right through. But no, I was kind of toying with the idea. I'm not sure how well this works on just shiny steel, like where I've ground it out through, but there's a bit of rust there too, so I don't think it'll hurt. I could try it there and see if it turns black on all the steel in a couple of days. And I mean, I'm not going to take a fine sandpaper to this and smooth it out as if it's a sports car, you know. It's a 68, but it's not a 68 Mustang, you know what I mean? Or what is it, 67 Mustang's the one, I think. But you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to make the paint perfect on it. I just want to keep it good and keep it functional if I can. And yeah, let's see here. Get a look at that one there. It'll make a difference. And like I said earlier, I'm trying to get some proper paint. You know, I don't really like the look of that. You know, this is it. You know, it's an orangey yellow, heavy equipment color. That's what you want. And I know there's some aftermarket places that sell it, you know, in a gallon can that you can brush on. And I've seen, you know, on YouTube, there's guys that got these painted all sorts of colors, and it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, I'm not aiming for perfection either, but kind of just something about that color. I like that, you know, the heavy equipment color. Instead of this, I call this chicken yellow, you know, like, I don't know. Not my favorite. I would prefer something like that. I'll put a little on here too. Let's see, get that aimed. So something this tractor doesn't have is there's a control that it would attach here, and there's a rod that goes back and it pivots and goes to the bucket control, and it's called, I think it's called return to digging. And I think it's a matter of it tips the bucket back. So when you're loading, when you hit that return, it just goes back to flat, and it turns it around so you can pick up another load, I think. Not 100% sure on that, but I was looking in the book this morning. I'm lucky enough to have a couple of books that came with this. One is a service manual, and the other is a parts manual, like just part numbers, and it shows schematics. And I saw this mechanism in the parts schematic with the numbers. I mean, you probably never find it again, but yeah, there might be one out there used if a fellow wanted to put one on it. But obviously, the previous owner never had it on there. Seemed to work without it, whatever he was doing with it. And yeah, you look on eBay, there's all sorts of books for these 580s. That's usually, you know, if you type in 580 CK Case tractor on eBay, you get You get lots of manuals. I mean, so you know, there's not a heck of a lot of parts on eBay, but there are aftermarket tractor places for sure that sell all sorts of stuff for them. You can still get most everything, I guess, like, you know, either used or new from those tractor sites. Yeah, I did buy, as I said in another video, I did buy the water pump pulley, and it's brand new. It's an aftermarket. It's based on the same part number. That was $107 for that pulley, and I didn't want to buy it, you know. But I didn't also, I mean, knowing it's a diesel, I know you can start it up and run it for a couple of minutes and without water in the jacket and without the rad in it and stuff, but I don't want to do that. If I'm going to start it, you know, I might want to run it for, you know, 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and I just don't want to take a chance that it's going to overheat, you know, or crack something. I would much prefer to have water in it or antifreeze in it, and, you know, for the little bit of extra effort it takes to have that working, you know, and have the water pump circulating. Yeah, I know, I see them, you know, you look on eBay, and I've seen it where they're selling one of these engines in 188, and they start it dry and they run it a few minutes, and, you know, I mean, so, I mean, the evidence is there. It probably doesn't hurt it, you know, a great deal, but that's not how I'm wired. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take a chance, you know. I guess that comes from a long life of breaking things, you know, or doing stupid stuff with engines sometimes and going, oh, why did I do that? You know, a few extra minutes of care would have saved me from doing that, you know. And I can't think of any great examples here right now. One might be a little engine I rebuilt years ago. It was a 2.8 Chev engine, a little V6, and they were known for bad crankshafts anyway, but crankshaft bearings. But I put it together, and I didn't take the time to plasti gauge the mains. And I just slapped it together and torqued it down, put it together, and I put it together, and it wasn't a few days after it was running that it was knocking again, you know. And it was, I don't know, things like that. You realize you don't want to make mistakes that are preventable. You know, there's enough mistakes that are going to come to you anyway. But, you know, this little bit of precaution, you can save yourself a lot of grief. So anyway, that's the philosophy section of this rust coating video. Very good. And you get the idea. That's what it'll look like. You can already see this stuff starting to turn black in here. Look at that. Okay. Might need another coat. But anyway, onward and upward.